Welcome to
Grab Life by the Horns.
Powered by Legacy Builders Global, and we are Jennifer Pecan and
Jan-Mark Pecan. Hello and welcome to another episode of Grab Life by the Horns. And today we're gonna talk about why you have to be so careful with the words you're talking yourself to and you are using. So now, what do I mean by that? And it's something that we started to pay a lot of attention to lately. Also because, as you know, we have a son, and of course we talk to him as well. Sometimes he talks a lot of the time. So sometimes we're not allowed to talk because he tells us like, "Don't tell me that. I already know that." But that's something you have to live with as well. But it's like, it sounds funny, but it's very, words are very powerful. They are very, very powerful. And sometimes we don't realize, and it took us a while to realize the power of words. Because when you look at it, sometimes you think, okay, what the hell is the difference between one word and another word? And like, how am I talking to myself? But it's like, even if you don't like talk to yourself actively, like sitting there and talking aloud all by yourself, some people do that.
Why you look at me and why I laugh? Like, this is a total normal thing that you talk to yourself.
For you,
in my world it is, and people, they know me in my world,
and they agree with you.
They agree with me,
yeah, of course.
So me, myself, and I, we talk to ourselves.
And the
every time when we need an opinion from an expert, we talk to ourselves.
Okay, I'm like, there are situations in life where you don't disagree with your wife. It's just healthy. The thing is I don't do that. Okay, so if you don't feel like now you have both sides. So Jennifer is talking to herself and to herself, and I'm not talking aloud to myself, but it's in silent. And it's not only that. It's also like when you talk to others about things like for example, if somebody asks you, hey, how about we go for dinner? Let's use that as an example. And you say, I can't afford that. Okay, this is like, you are not actively talking to yourself, but the words you are using, they talk to you. Because they go back in your brain. It has an impact on the way you say it. It's totally different than when you say, well, temporarily I don't want to spend that money because of an investment, or because I want to pay back a loan, or whatever. So it's like, it sounds, you think like, okay, what is the difference between one and the other one? And the difference is in what it does with your mind. Because if you say to yourself, for example, I can't do that. I use a different example, because I think we have to use a lot of examples in order to give you different points how to realize what you are telling yourself. So I used to tell myself that I'm not very creative. Because that's what my parents told me. And that's what my art teachers told me. Because it's like, my art is still like probably on the level of an 8-year-old.
No, Felix is better.
So 4-year-old. So there you get it. Because it's like, this is nothing that excites me. I like drawing stuff, like engineering type of drawings. But I don't like drawing people, or like drawing a tree, or finding out about the shading and the lighting and like all of this. Like, I admire people that can do that have the passion for it. I love paintings, not so much the modern ones because I don't understand them. But like, I love those paintings. I love how realistic in the medieval age, for example, they were trying to like see the world and like express everything, but it's nothing that excites me doing it. Okay, so I got told, well, you're not very creative, and my parents told me basically the same thing, and that was it. So it's like I just accepted the fact I'm not creative. But here comes the thing, I'm very creative when it comes to finding ways how to invest money, how to like get a return on the invest, how to think in the business, how to increase the margins, how to grow revenue, how to motivate people, how to put teams together. Like that is also creativity. And now I'm sometimes I have to force myself, because I'm still using that phrase, because it was like decades, like at least 2 decades, engraved in my brain that I'm not creative. So, and there I'm saying it again, but it's like I'm not creative in art. Okay, every time when I now use that phrase and say I'm not creative, I'm saying I'm not creative in that area, because that is truly something that like I don't really care about, and that's probably why I'm not good at it. But I'm really creative when it comes to the other things, but I had to understand what creativity really is, and that creativity is a lot of this things, and that you can be very creative. You're just not creative in another way. But this is like, these are the words, and I'm hoping that you understand, and that you like see maybe in your environment when people tell you something, that you are something. And this is the other thing, is if you say I am, it's way different than I don't do things.
So now I want to say something as well, like in between.
Of course, but you're not talking to yourself right now.
I know.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, you can hear my thinking, and
It's loud.
On air. Yeah. So when you like this way with the creativity, that was the same for me. Like my parents taught me this as well. I cannot. I'm not creative. Like the creative part is my sister, and actually, obviously, like the creativity of my parents, everything went to my sister and not to me. So I always and that I'm not good in learning languages. So these were like things which come up and say, well, don't mind, you're just not good in this. And this is like really that makes something with you, and you need a long time to get away of this. First of all, you have to be aware of this, that you have this limiting beliefs, that you have to get, and this is like how you, the things how you tell yourself, this is like you believe in that. So if you have the feeling, for example, if people like, sometimes you see this in your environment, if people go from an employee to make them self-employed, or they join a company, and for example with the a lot of times it's the network marketing, and the people say, well, you're so changing so much, and like, you're not the same person anymore. Yeah, that's true, because they hear different things, they reprogram their mind, they get like told constantly different things to give them more energy, to make them think positive, and to reframe your thoughts, what you already have. And you can do that, and you can and this is a tool, and you can of course take this in a positive way, like brainwash is nothing different, and you can brainwash yourself in a positive way or in a negative way. And if you had limiting, or if you grew up with limiting beliefs and you don't want that anymore, you have to brainwash totally, like until nothing is there anymore with the limiting beliefs, until you focus on the positive things. And it has to be like through everything. For example, my father taught me a lot of things which are already in the right way, and I realized it later on. So for example, he always told me, like, don't try it, do it. It's shorter anyway. Like when I talk it in German, like the one has I think eight letters, the other has 3 letters. So this is already like from the wording is like different, and in the and as well in English too, but it's not like this big difference. So he always say like, don't try it, do it. That's another thing. And I did sports, I did athletics, and he just said like, don't discuss, just do it. Just do it. Don't try it, do it. And on the other side, he trained me and he told me constantly that I cannot do anything by myself without him. Like, he is the engine, and without him I'm nothing. I cannot do anything. So I had no self-confidence. Like long time, like even when I met Jan Mark, my self-confidence was basically not there. And I just realized when you talked that even though I was more like I gained a lot of self-confidence during the years, and especially in the last 4 years, but the way I act was not that I'm doing the things on my own. Of course I do the things on my own, but I was always like asking, I'm always like including Jan Mark in my decisions, and this is something like it's not that like I feel safer when he knows what I'm doing instead of when I'm doing it alone. And I just realized that, and I will change that now, because like this is something what I thought like of course I'm independent, I can do what I want, and it was totally normal for me that I'm talking to him and asking him for his opinion. And I will not stop doing this, of course, not in general, but because like we have a life together, and I include in my decisions. But when I want to do, for example, to go to an event, like, and I make this decision for myself, I'm not asking for permission. I'm just like checking how we can do that and how we can organize the things. So this is, and before I maybe would ask, so would it be okay for you? Like I would be, be a little bit, defensive in this situation. And I just realized that while you're talking, that I really changed this, like this was still in me. And I just realized that while you're talking. So, and this is something, like you have this wording is so deep inside you, and even though we are working on this constantly since and really intense since 4.5 years, there are things in your mind, in your brain, they are so deep. You have just first to realize them, then you reframe them, and then to implement them. And what we do with Felix is like, and you can do this with affirmations. So we do our like, maybe some of you would say 6-minute journaling every morning, and there are some, like I write down 3 affirmations every day, sometimes 4. And with Felix we have affirmation cards we are using that we let him know that he can do everything what he wants, for example, that if he needs help he should ask for support, that he has not to be afraid of everything, and even if he's scared, that's a good thing. And all the things like that, that he is aware of the things, and he can repeat really fast the things. So you can already see with kids, you can see in a short amount of time a huge progress to that. And even with that, and we know how the things work, we get like our friends tell us as well, if they understand what we are doing, and they are entrepreneurs and really aware of the mind setting and all the things like that, they have to correct us sometimes as well, because we don't see the difference of the wording. And this is really, really difficult. And in the last weeks, when my mom was here, I saw a lot of things how I grew up, and I told us already in the episode before, like 2 weeks before. But I realized a lot of things, and I listened to her words, and I realized this is just not good. Like this is, and I correct her directly in front of Felix, because I don't want that this word goes into his brain. And this is something, and when we do mistakes, and you like the one times, like what we said, well, we did a game, and I said to him, like, you have to learn how to lose.
Yeah.
And this makes no sense at all, but this is like, of course I didn't mean it like that he has to learn how to lose, but how he has, like how he handle if he loses. And
I just want to expand on that point.
Yeah, you can do in a minute when I
Okay.
finish my sentence. So and this is really an important thing, because there are two different things. And since I lost my point right now, I cannot finish my sentence. You can go ahead.
I'm sorry, but if you open this up, and I think this is
After
so
my sentence.
this is so important because
I know. Sorry.
Okay.
Now I interrupt you. We are like as well correcting each other in front of Felix. In the moment we realize that we did not use the right words.
yes, and we also correct him if he's not using the right
Yeah,
words
and ourselves. Yeah.
for himself. So, but this is one profound thing. But you probably have heard that in your childhood as well. It's like that you have to learn how to lose, and this is one of the biggest BS lies we tell people, like, and we tell children, and it just in that moment, even though we are aware of like the power of words, we are aware of how to talk to him, how we want to talk to each other, but in that moment sometimes it just slips like through, because you are programmed in that way. You were programmed in your childhood, and this is the easy thing to repeat. So you say, and this makes like all the difference. And if you don't get it, go back, hear again. This is going to be one of the most life-changing things, because it makes this reframing so clear. If you tell somebody you have to learn how to lose, is what you basically telling them is that losing is okay, and that they have to learn that they get defeated, and they have that this is okay. Being defeated is okay, losing is okay, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And
If you want to be a winner.
if you want to be a winner, if you
Yeah.
want to be a loser, then you have to learn how to lose. No question about that. No question. But since you are listening to that, you want to be a winner, you don't want to be a loser. And so let's repeat that again, is you have to learn how to lose. And what we corrected it to is you have to learn how to handle your emotions when you lost. And it's a total different thing. Go back and hear it again. Is you have to learn how to handle your emotions when you lost. Because of course, especially if you play games, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. There's a lot of luck involved. Yeah, there are strategy games as well, where you can like control it a little bit, but as soon as you have dices involved, it comes down to some kind of luck. And if you you always have to like, you are losing in business as well, you are losing in your career, like it's like you don't get that promotion that you wanted. That's a defeat, that's a loss, because you didn't get it. Okay, but you don't have to learn how not to get promoted. That's bullshit. Okay, but what you have to learn is in that moment to how do you react if you don't get it,
How to handle your emotions.
how to handle your emotions, how to get back on a positive thinking, how to move on, and how to identify the next opportunity in that company, with a different company, whatever. Is like if you are in business, you might be quoting for a big contract, you have been working on that and you're not getting it. Okay, and that's a normal thing. It happens to the best people in business, and you don't have to learn how to not get orders. Okay, that's absurd. Nobody wants to learn how to not get the client order, but you have to learn what to do if you don't get it, how you handle your emotions. Like, you have to analyze the situations. What could you have done better? Why did you not get it? And so on and so on. And this is such this is a mega difference, and I cannot like stress that point enough, because this just like brings it down, and thank you for like bringing that point up, that brings it really down in that episode what we mean about it. And like this I can't, I'm not, it's like this words is it's the same when you tell your it reminds me on like because we talked about it, when you tell your children, because as you can see we're thinking about a lot how we talk to Felix, is we're not telling I don't like that you are like this, okay, I don't like that you are whatever, like crying or so on. It's like you have to go to the behavior, because the you are, and it's a difference. And this is like advanced. The other one was like more basic, this is more advanced, and it took us years to get to that point. Is if you tell yourself, your kid, your partner, whatever, you are, I don't like that you are like this, it means you don't like a part of the person.
The right phrase for that, how we learned that was because we told him like practicing makes you better. And a friend of us, she told us, no, it makes him not better. It does not make him better. It makes his skills in this situation better. And this is something like you really have, like this is like there are small detailed things, and you just don't, it's not that you want to, like you try to make it in the right way, and you think you're doing it in the right way, and this small word can make a huge difference in your mindset, and if you have limiting beliefs or not. And this is scary as well, to be honest, because like and I think we are already advanced to like at least to our childhood, and how we grew up. But with Felix, I'm sure there is another level above as well, and we are willing to learn this more and more. But was the phrase.
Because it's basically when you tell somebody, as like practice makes you better. To come back to that is that he's not perfect like he is. That's what this is what goes into him, and this is not what we want. Right? We want to tell him you can get better, and it's your choice to get better. So it's like you see, it's like this is work. This is really this is work, because you have to think about what you're saying. You talked about journaling, that helps a lot too, because you are careful about the words you're writing down, because they are causing different things, and they get into your brain as well. So you also have to be very careful, like when you write emails. And sometimes it's even like when you have a colleague, and that colleague is like negative about like something in the company, just listening to that person is bad. It's really bad, because first of all, you signal that person that it's worth talking about that stuff, to not use offensive language, and I really had to try right now, but the other thing is it goes into your brain, and those words, they are like poison. Okay, if you get enough of that poison, it's just gonna kill the good stuff in your brain. And don't be because we're coming like almost to the end of the episode, is we're happy to help you with that. You can ask us, you can contact us, but you also can like contact like other mindset coaches. Okay, we're not mindset coaches. We can help people that want to change, but sometimes
we can introduce you to.
But sometimes we have to introduce you to other people that we trust as well, that help us and helped us in the past, because we're not like experts on that field in like when it comes to very particular things. But the other thing is, don't beat yourself up, and this is the other thing. When you are not feeling like it, or if you don't get it right, okay? Don't beat yourself up if something slips. Correct it, and move on, because even though we would consider ourselves advanced, we're definitely not experts on that topic.
Yeah.
Far away from that, but we're getting there, piece by piece, sentence by sentence, and word by word. But it took us a long time to correct this limiting beliefs, because we had installed them, like we got them in ourselves. They were deeply engraved, and it's like what you said in the beginning is brainwashing. And I know it has this negative connotation, because usually the intention when you hear brainwashing is to get people to do something that they do not want to do. But if you look at the two words, it's brain, that's what usually is between your ears, and for some people it's not, but you can't help them, and washing, which basically means cleaning. So you have to clean your brain, and this is what we mean by brainwashing. You have to clean your brain of the bad stuff, of the not so good stuff, of the limiting beliefs, and that will make room for all of the positive things. And this is really, it's like when we use that term, and this is like, for example, why, because you talked about network marketing, this is why network marketing is, even if you don't want to do direct selling, it's a good practice, no question about that. But if you go to network marketing things, yes, sometimes it's a lot of hype. But what they are good at, those companies, those trainers, those people, is they are good in installing a belief that you can do something in your brain. And this is why people, when they are able to overcome their belief system, are incredibly successful in that area, because they change their belief and everything else follows it. And this has all to do with the words they use themselves, they read to themselves, and this is like this affirmations. This is why they work. This is why it helps, because if you talk positive to yourself, if you are grateful for what you already have, then you will be more able to attract more positive things. It sounds crazy, it does, and believe me, I'm an engineer by training. I'm far from woohoo, shoo and whatever, like all of this, but it's surprising how it works. I cannot tell you how it works. I can just tell you it works, even for me. But it's maybe a little bit, if you are like an engineer type of person like myself, it's maybe a little bit more work for you, because you are always trying to understand how it works, and in that case you can't.
Well, it's the repeat, and there are statistics as well in when it comes to sales, that people start listening to you if you have 7 to 13 touching points to the people, 7 to 13 touching points. And when we do events, or when we're training and practicing the events, our coaches told us as well, you have if you want that one point get across, you have to repeat this sentence, this point 7 to 13 times on this evening. And you feel stupid if you do this, because like you said, people realize that I'm repeating and repeating and repeating this. But the thing is, this is how your brain works as well when you're practicing for school. You need to repeat the stuff until it gets into your brain. And this is the same for this affirmation and the gratitude. So for me, it's really because to tell me the things and to meditate about that, this is not only work for me. I can get into my zone when I'm focusing on writing the things down. And when I'm writing it down, I have to think more what I'm writing down and using the right words. So it's easier for me to write it down in the first step. And then when I do this more often, then then it's easier for me to tell me this in a second step, and then I can, like, when I sit there and, like, for example, like have a sit on our balcony and look at the sea and just relax or meditate or whatever how you want to call it, like or like I meditate and try to focus on the things that what I want to focus on, or just like focus on the breath or whatever. Like these words, like I speak to myself more with love right now than I did like weeks, months before. It's changing constantly to the better because I'm writing it down, and my words I write down are more positive than it was like half year ago. And it's changing. It's changing with every practicing sentence, basically. And this is how you have to see it. And I'm really like, I'm more the right brainer of us, or I'm right brain. People say I'm right brain, but I'm really disciplined as well on the other side, and really structured in my head and analytic. So my ability is like, I believe more, I'm more optimistic, and I believe more in the things I'm hearing and I like. I don't have to analyze them. I have the capability to just accept that and take it as it is, and act like, it's true. I would not come to the idea like just to re-question it. Like Jan-Mark is always re-questioning things, and this is good as well because you need both in a team for doing business. But in this case, sometimes it's the easiest way. Just take it, believe it, and implement it, not re-question it. Because it's like, what can happen if you start talking good to yourself? Like, there's nothing bad happening, okay? So there's no like worst case. Like,
that is true.
If you, there's like, the only thing what will happen is for your better. And I really want to encourage you to focusing on the wording.
Yep, I think there's not really a lot to add. Just be very careful. Maybe you have to re-listen to this episode 1 or 2 times to really get the most out of it. Send it to somebody if you have the feeling they should be listening to it. Because we definitely put our heart into this episode, and it's probably one of the episodes that we really care the most about, because it's so profound, but it's so critical to do this, and it doesn't cost any money. It costs only effort, and like Jennifer said, is what's the worst thing that can happen if you start talking to yourself in a positive, loving way, or to your friends, your life partner, your business partner, your kids? What's the worst thing that can happen? It will actually work.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time, guys. Bye.
Do you want to get paid? Introducing Legacy Builders Global, where everybody gets paid. We don't create investors. We create legacy builders. Legacy Builders Global. Visit us at www.legacybuildersglobal.com.